Welcome to House General and Housing, everyone. Today is Friday,
Woo!
March 21. And we are going to introduce a number of bills this afternoon. And the first of them is an act relating to prohibiting discrimination based on immunization status. It was, and this is its introduction by Representative Mark Higley. Mark, you want to come and join us?
What's the number of it?
It is H60.
60?
Yes.
Good afternoon, committee. Representative Mark Higley from the Orleans Memorial District, second time in this committee this year. Appreciate it. You treated me well last time. Didn't get up too bad, so here we go again. So H60 is really just a carryover from a number of years. It's something that I've taken on after past representatives are no longer here. As the chair mentioned, the bill proposes to prohibit discrimination in employment and public accommodations on the basis of an individual's immunization status. And again, that would go for many of the other things in public accommodations, unfair housing practices, and then unlawful employment practice. Interesting, just a few days ago, I thought I'd look up some things regarding the pandemic that happened shortly after the pandemic started. But, you know, they were talking about Washington State, 1,900 state workers have quit or have been fired. Michigan, 400 workers at the Henry Ford Health System in Detroit walked away from their jobs. North Carolina-based Novant Health fired about 175 employees. Texas, 150 workers at the Houston Methodist Hospital were fired or quit. Some workers were denied unemployment. And that's a key point that I want to make. So on December 21st, 2021, there was a Vermont Department of Labor bulletin that talked about employer vaccination mandates and unemployment insurance. And it quotes, an employee that is terminated for failure to comply with a vaccine mandate will not be eligible for unemployment insurance benefits based on that separation. If they quit, they will not be eligible as well. Again, you may have recently heard in the news, it appears that since 2021 to 2023, over 8,000 troops had been discharged solely due to their COVID-19 vaccination status. And it appears that those folks will be reinstated if they choose to, and with back pay. So it's a big issue. A lot's come out since the pandemic on that, but I certainly think it's something to at least look into and consider, because I'm sure, as we all do, we have either a family member or friend or somebody that we know who, for whatever reason, regardless of the situation, are not going to get vaccinated, whether it's religious, whether it's philosophical, whether it's, you know, there is, to my understanding, some health related vaccination exemptions. And maybe a few places there is some religious too. But again, it's and again, it should be up to the individual. I mean, it's I've heard many stories where people have been vaccinated aren't going anymore because they believe that their mother-in-law or friend or whatever passed away shortly after they got vaccinated. So,
Forgive me, I didn't hear you say that vaccination status was in here. Vaccination status is in here?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, how does that, I just to clarify, I don't, how do you rectify that with the requirement of childhood vaccines in order to be able to attend public school?
well, again, that's something that years ago, of course, Vermont, in my opinion, went against the Constitution based on constitutional law attorney Cheryl Hanna, who testified before our committee that we used to have a philosophical and religious exemption.
Yep.
And she had stated that if we did away with the philosophical exemption, we'd also have to do away with the religious exemption. We did that. It hasn't been challenged in court. My understanding, that's the way that it would have to be resolved. Somebody would have to bring it to court. But so again, that's an issue for me too, as well, as far as, the children. This is more of an employment and situation for housing.
Well, it's places of public accommodation, which public school is. So, and my other question is, does it work both ways?
As far as,
Mask wearing,
excuse me,
wearing masks?
mask.
Does it work both ways? Like if you wish to wear a mask and you're told not to?
Well, that's what the governor did here in the state, is he chose to either wear masks and have testing, regular testing, rather than, he encouraged vaccination. But it wasn't as strict as what so many other companies and states had done.
Yeah, so
So,
if you wish to wear a mask based on vulnerability or what have you, and can you be discriminated against for wearing a mask?
I don't
Is that
believe
your-
so.
Is that your intent?
No.
It's not in the bill.
No.
The bill is about vaccination status. It just adds the words vaccination status to a number of anti-discrimination provisions.
Okay, so it's strictly about vaccination and
Vaccination
not
status.
about masks.
It's not in this bill.
Race,
Sorry,
creed, color,
sorry.
national origin, marital status, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, and then it just added all these sections, or immunizations.
It's the sections on public accommodations, on employment, anything else?
Housing.
Housing.
So it's regular.
Just take those
Yeah,
sections.
yeah.
And the words.
Yeah.
Immunization status, right?
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
And I certainly understand the concern and of course, a lot of times, as the pandemic showed, a lot more information came out afterwards as to whether or not, if you were vaccinated, that you would pass it on to an individual. And my understanding is proven that wasn't the case, so anyway, there is a lot there, but something that should be considered, because as I stated, and I could go on with the number of places and individuals that lost their jobs through whether they were forced to or whether they quit. And there was some real ramifications to that for employment.
Yeah,
Questions of the sponsor?
yeah, not really a question, but I think I'm pretty sure that was kind of the crux of this coming about in the first place, was during that time. It was, if you get vaccinated, the virus stops with you. Right? Like that was kind of the mark. They told people that if they weren't vaccinated, if they could work here, it didn't stop with you.
Right. I certainly,
So yeah, I think that was kind of the initial thing that got this going, was just that kind of in the moment messaging that turns out later not to be true, and the effect that can have on people.
Any other questions of the sponsor? Mark, thanks a lot for coming. Really appreciate it a lot.
thank you.
Thank you.
We do have a scheduling issue here, Magali. So Teddy is late.
He said he would be ready because of their current testimony. And then Representative Supernaut said that they also did change the testimony, so she will not be able to attend.
Period. Okay.
Well,
And
I'm gonna
Gina-
grab a little bit of a donut.
Wait, Gina is scheduled. You can grab the donut.
Thanks.
But you have to be aware of what it's going to do to your metabolism.
Right?
Okay.
Awareness.
Yes.
Listening.
So,
Oh,
yes.
come on.
No,
We have to thank Mary Howard for the donuts. So, H402, the Municipal Labor Relations Act, with Gina as the, Galfetti as the sponsor, That's not due till 1:30, right?
Correct, but I believe Representative Waz's up should be.
Why don't, maybe the best
I
thing
hear
is
his voice.
for us to stop and go offline until then. So let's adjourn. People should be aware that we will recommence as soon as the next sponsor is available, so they should stay tuned.